Going live. I was putting my hair up on my head so that I could get into the shower. And I wish I could show you all the stains on my dress. I've been cooking, I've been washing dishes, the whole 9 yards, making like a wife, even took my jewelry off. And then this clown appears. This silly clown, who has said, "Hi, my dear. How are you doing, beautiful?" I said, "Do I know you?" He said, "Not really, but it's always the right time to know each other. You are right. You never know about life." And I said, "What? And why would that be?" So, "I do respect you, Mrs. Okay, let it go. Thank you very much indeed for answering back to me in spite of it all. How are you tonight?" That's what I'm going to say because I've been mean to him. I'm just mean because these jerks pop up at exactly the wrong moment for me. I've yet to have a scammer pick a decent time, 9 a.m. Yes, Aaron, I'm up with these men folks. This man folk, I'm sure, is from Nigeria. I've looked at his picture. He's exceedingly dark. He's got that African, not polluted with any white folks, beautiful complexion. And Angela, I'm doing fine. I'm just irritated with these guys. And this last weekend, I've had so many of them, I started calling it the dance of the Sugarplum Scammers because there were so many of them, and I was just having a hard time keeping up with them. And I was actually booting some of them within seconds, saying, "Nope, that's it. Okay, hear this. I do appreciate your beautiful kindness, and I take off my hat to you in honor to honor you because you deserve endlessly more. I am doing great, thanks to God." So here we go. As you can hear, this is an eager one. And you? I am doing well. Just finished cleaning the kitchen. Let's see what he makes of that one. I just scrubbed my kitchen down. That's very true. I didn't lie to him there. I am kind of irritated with all of them. I'm going to have to put a link in here. I can't remember who it is, but it's a nice lady that I watch that also talks frequently about KJ that got attacked with a racial slur by one of KJ's stands. I've had several of KJ's stands come in here and say just crazy things. And I answer them and then I block them because nobody has time for that kind of negativity. Good to hear that. Oh, it's good to hear that I cleaned my kitchen. This is so exciting. Ah. And I also want to direct you to Bruce Garenzer. Bruce finally came onto YouTube. I've been after Bruce for a long time. He came on today and he read aloud in a preacher's voice a very ugly email he had gotten from a former, not a former, a current independent fundamentalist Baptist. Bruce is a former independent fundamentalist Baptist minister, and he could do a much better job than I could of explaining between the different Baptist religions. I'm going to try to get to see if I can get him to come on here one night and let anybody they want ask questions of Bruce, because Bruce can explain the can you tell I'm tired? The denominational differences much better than I can. I was raised Catholic, went to Episcopal with my father, went into my little fundamentalist world, which was non-denominational, to Methodism, to non-denominational again. So I have no Baptist experience. I've just read about them and heard a lot. This guy's now saying, "You are so wise." And why do you think I am wise? Let's make him squirm again. The most fun is when you can go back and forth. Be nice to them once and then turn around and then snap at them. Make them work for it. You make it too easy or nice for them unless you want to lure them into making stupid remarks like the one I had the other night that said that he was with the U.S. military misspelled it all over the place. And then when in where was he saying that? I want to say Kabul, but I'm tired. And I know it was not Kabul. It was Yemen. And when I pointed out to him, as someone kindly informed me here, that the military was all pulled out in February from Yemen, he suddenly became a member of the peacekeeping force in Yemen, but he misspelled peace. Instead of spelling it P-E-A-C-E, he spelled it P-I-E-C-E. So I got a huge laugh out of that. He couldn't even spell it correctly. How the hell does he think anybody is ever going to take him seriously? Spelling matters, people. It changes the meanings of this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm taking my cavalcade of drugs for my nighttime that I haven't taken. Let's see what this guy wants. You have the of humanity and decency, which are for a true guide. Can anybody here actually parse to me what it was I just said? Because to me, this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. He's working hard. He's working hard for the money. I got to respect that game. Now, what did I do with my tissues? I am not going to be like certain people that we could mention without a tissue box and and not have tissues because my nose runs. Yeah, what does that even mean, Aaron? What is it? Just let's see what else he said. Okay. Because the capacity to listen and understand the voice of consciousness to make MAAKE of it what's rightly positive, that is why. Okay, huh? You gotta be pulling my leg. I don't understand any of that he said, and I'm not going to let him pass. Oh, let me go back and read because it's pretty crazy. Let me see. You have the of humanity and decency, which are for a true guide. I'm not even sure what any of that meant. Maybe I should ask him about his candy bar. That used to be a popular thing to ask scammers when you had them. Says, I need proof of your candy bar. Your legal candy bar. I need proof of it. Oh, unstable. Yes, indeed. You really are. Where are you from? Okay, that's an innocuous question I'm going to ask. I have an unstable stream connection. I don't know. Am I buffering? If I'm buffering too much and this cuts out, I'm just going to boot this puppy and put him down and drop kick him through the goalposts of life because the BS is piling up in my room really, really high right now. He's piling it in hard. He works so hard for his money. Okay. So I asked him a legitimate thing. I asked him where he's from, and this seems like this is the question that is derailing the BS train. He's not exactly able to answer me very well. Come on. Buffering? Am I buffering yet? Or is this still getting through? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, come on. No. Why are you not answering a normal question? They've been calling my parents' house about 3 to 4 a.m. and my dad will just BS them for as long as possible. I think I love your dad, Aaron. That is awesome. These guys are really the worst. They exploit so many people. When I used to scam bait, I think at the time, the last figures I saw were into the billions of the dollars that they take off of innocent people. You know, that's the problem with Americans. We tend to be forgiving. We tend to be trust. We tend to trust anybody. We tend to believe people when they tell us stuff. And sometimes that gets us into a lot of trouble. I tend not to believe these people. And if somebody tells me the sky is blue, I will check every single time. I've gotten scammed too many times. So I don't trust any of that anymore. I never have, actually. I've never gotten scammed online. Okay, let's see. I am from Haiti, the land of mountains. I left it out for Dominican Republic since back in 2017. Since then, I've been living in Bavaro, Punta Cana. Punta Cana. Okay, we're going to do a little research because I am having brain farts tonight and I can't remember where Punta Cana is. Dominican Republic. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I wasn't 100% sure. Dominican Republic. He's in the Dominican Republic. He will ask if they watch old movies, talk about Coney Island, talk about the uncles from Ireland, anything to keep them on the phone, to keep them from calling other people. I've done that a couple times in the States when they've called me, but here they don't call. Here, the ones I get that will ring my house phone, because my US number rings my house phone, is please stay on the line for an important warning about your auto warranty. And so I always stay on the line and then I say, I'm in a foreign country. I'm in a foreign country with a car that was made in 2005. Do you still want to sell me an auto warranty? And then I hang up on them. So far, that's shut them up for the most part. Let's see. I'm from Haiti, the land of mountains. I left it for Dominican Republic since back in 2017. I'm going to tell him I've been to Haiti, which is not 100% truth. I know a lot of other people have been to Haiti. I never could go because of my health. That's ingenious. That is ingenious that he keeps talking to them about old movies and different things. I've not done that in a long, long time with any of those people. I've just wanted to get them on and get them off. The ones that make me laugh are the IRS. Hey, Cheryl, the IRS ones, when they call and say, we are from the IRS, and they can't even, you're not even speaking to somebody in America. You're speaking to somebody in India or wherever, and they're giving you this BS about how they're the IRS. And you're like, the IRS does not call. They don't. They send you these form letters. I know because I've had my share of head knockings with them. Okay, said sure, of course. Let's see what else he comes up with. Okay. Okay, he's asking me about Haiti. Telling him I found it rather primitive. But I'm not going to tell him that Nicaragua is just as primitive, which it is. Oh my goodness. Do you have time for a joke? Then the guy hung up on him right away. Oh my goodness. I can just imagine that, Aaron. I can just imagine that. My father would have been one that would have loved to have done that. He was a natural comedian. He was always telling jokes and telling these long rambling stories. I guess that's where I get it from sometimes. And I think he would have talked those guys' ears off. Mission trips. DC. Just asked me where I was from and what that was all about. I'm saying DC mission trips. Oh, so let's see. I'm gonna see how long I can string this guy on tonight before I boot him, and hopefully I won't lose my temper before, because that is one thing. Exactly why they seem to think that women from America are such easy marks in my age group, I don't know. Sorry. Yes, Washington, D.C. He wanted to know what D.C. was, whether it was Washington or not. I keep forgetting, if you're not in that area, you don't tend to think and say D.C. Whereas we tend to think of it as just D.C., not Washington, D.C. Okay. Okay. Here's where it's going to get interesting. If he asks me to help him to get a visa to the U.S., I've already had guys ask me 3 times this week for help getting American visas. And I have to tell them, it's like, I have no contacts there. In fact, I'm probably the very wrongest person to ask, because during, that could be, they probably do. And big deal. No, I live overseas. Now, here's the thing. Should I lie to him and make up someplace really exotic like Albania? Or should I just tell him I'm in Costa Rica? What I've started doing is I've started just not accepting any other friendship requests, because this weekend it got stupid. I got like 50 requests over the course of 2 days. And Cheryl, that's a good way to do it too. I've told them I've had sexual problems. I've told them that I had terrible diseases. I've come up with crazy stuff through the years when I get ready to run them off. Most of the time, I'll just pick them apart and expose that they're scammers and say, your picture is exactly the same as that came out of the Men's Warehouse catalog for 1997. Can you tell me why that is? Or the guy who was with the peacekeeping forces the other day. He wants to know if I'm in Europe. Okay, so I'm going to tell him I'm in Albania. That's where Vicki Garrison, who started NLQ, ended up. Her and I have actually had a couple of disagreements over her going there, because it's actually on the do not travel list, just like Nicaragua and a lot of places that are dangerous for Americans. There are places that are just going to be dangerous. And if you have any kind of brains, you don't go to those places. You wait for whatever the danger is to pass. I've always wanted to go to Albania as a visit, because it was communist for the longest time. But at the same time, a lot of these countries, when they stop being communist and they're still trying to sort themselves out, they're kind of primitive, a lot of them, and rather wild west. There are parts of Albania that U.S. government employees are not allowed to go. That's how bad the drug industry is there. There's a lot of drugs, and there's a lot of violence. My friend's lucky. She's older like I am, so they're not going to white slave her. They're not going to pick her up and put her in a brothel. So that's one good thing. Not too long, only a few years. So I'm telling him I've been living in Albania for just a few years. I don't even know how long it's been open to Westerners. My former friend, I know she was excited to get an apartment with all the utilities for $400. But I started looking at real estate. Believe it or not, Century 21 is already in Albania. And for $400 a month that she was paying, she got a luxury pad on a high rise instead of this small little apartment that she got on Airbnb. for gringo prices. I can tell you they play the gringo shuffle there too. Any place that has very poor people and you have Americans coming, you're going to find they're going to do the gringo shuffle. They're going to adjust the price for whatever they think they can get you for. That's okay. Won't get back in the US next time. Albania allows you to stay 4 years with investor status. And I know that to be true. Albania will allow you to stay for some years with investment status, but that's some hoops you got to jump through from what I saw. Maybe I should start throwing some weird sexual stuff at him and see what he does. Maybe I'll tell him that I can't love a man I can't choke in the bedroom. Or something way weirder. Something way weirder. I got to think about this one a minute. Because this is way too pedestrian and dull. And he thinks I'm there in investor status. He's probably going to ask me for a loan at any minute, and that's not a good thing. At least he hasn't asked me to get him a visa yet. That's the other one I seem to get all the time. In the meantime, are you doing there? In fact, if you really allow me, I am investing. Doing business, import, export, marijuana. Let's see what he does with that. Hey, Sue M, you may not be, does he have a lot of ping pongs? I don't know. I might have to ask him that. He wanted to know what I do in Albania. So I said, well, I do investing, of course, because I'm an investor. And I do import and export of marijuana. So we'll see what he does with that. I'm just admitted to an international crime. His name is Vital Blanchard. Blanchard. Might have known. Sue, I'm going to ask him if he wants a pet kangaroo. Also export exotic contraband animals. Would you like a kangaroo? This is okay. Let's see how interesting this gets. The reason I said investments, Pippi, there's a reason for it, because he asked me how I was staying in Albania that long and if they were going to let me back in the States. And I said, well, Albania lets you stay an unlimited amount of time if you're an investor. You can stay some years, which is true. And the only reason I know that is when my friend suddenly moved to Albania. And every time I kept asking her about it, she said, well, I researched it, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I could see she had not researched it. She had gone in with confirmation bias. She'd gone in thinking it was going to be cheap, thought it was cheap, wasn't as cheap as it could have been had she not been getting the gringo shuffle. And I think she was running away from something, a man, I don't know. It was the impression. I could go for a kangaroo too. I love kangaroos. So when I was doing a lot of reading, when I was trying to talk her out of it, I ran across the investor status stuff because A lot of times places will let you in on that. It's like, that's how we're here. Yeah, we have a few things here that are investments. They're considered investment class. And the nice thing about that is they're unlikely to ever kick you out, even if you take your time like we've been becoming residents. At least, you're in the pipeline and they're not going to kick you out. Um, that's the advantage of that. Albania requires very little money to be considered investment status, and you can stay for up to like 5 or 6 years. You just get the paperwork through them and doing a limited investment status time. It's kind of funny because we looked at a lot of different places before we moved to Costa Rica. It wasn't our first choice. You are doing a super nice business. I love all the animals without exception. I am a lover of the nature. I told him I am a lover of the nature too. Aaron Kelly, I have a ton of yarn myself here. I just bought some the other day. I just rushed into the yarn store. I have a little zippered pouch that I keep extra coins in. And when the coins build up big enough, I go make a mega yarn run at the one store around here that sells it. It's not very nice. Oh, Dr. Oakley. I don't know. I wonder if he's also a fan of Dr. Phil. I'm about to feed him some kind of BS about that too, I think. Um, Yeah, because I know that YouTube is going to demonetize this. They've done this with almost all my videos. Apparently, when you talk about traumatic things and you talk about recovery from religion, YouTube considers that content unfriendly, unfamily friendly, even if you're marked not for children. So I don't know how. I don't know what kind of sacrifices to the YouTube gods that a certain person we all know made to get all of her videos monetized. But I don't get it. There's times when I put the most innocuous titles before I even start. It's marked as limited monetization. A virtual yarn. I may have to do that, Aaron. I may have to do that, even though the yarn I get here is the terrible kind, the cheapest. Oh, here we go. I'm a philanthropist and I do more for the love of unity and diversity of our Almighty God. What church do you go to? I'm about to tell him I'm a Satan worshiper or something like that. Yeah, it is. I've had this forever. In fact, it's kind of funny. This is one of those dresses that's too short to wear past the gate without horrifying everybody. So I wear this a lot in the house, and it's extremely soft cotton. It's so soft. I've had it so long that it feels like it's got some holes already, like a lot of my clothing here does. And I got this in San Marcos, Texas, at Goodwill for $2. I'm just one of those. Oh, tell him about the Queen of England. I don't think he'd believe me. I think he's seen my picture, but maybe I can claim to be an embarrassing royal cousin who's been drummed out, has to live in Albania to keep away from the royal family so they don't behead me or something like that. You're right, that is the best. Okay, come on. How complex can it be? I just asked you what church you go to, what religion you were. It's not like that is a very complex question. Close relative, yes. But I didn't get all the I didn't want to say it. I was going to say I didn't get the inbred ears. I love thrift shops, Pippi. I just always have whenever I go someplace. My daughter and I were in Florida like three years ago. One of the things that we did in the Fort Lauderdale area was we went into the shops, the thrift shops, and I got a whole wardrobe. I got stuff that still had the tags on it from Belk. That was the thing I couldn't believe. There were some expensive things that were in there that still had tags on them that people had bought and decided they didn't like, that I was like, perfect for me. Okay, come on, dude. You were just taking way too long. Before I was raised in the Catholic Church, that after I grew up, I was baptized in Christianism. Somebody seems to be laboring under that delusion that Catholicism is not Christian. That's pretty bizarre. If you're going at once. He probably does, Sue, and he probably does. I was Christian. Now I worship Satan. Except I'm going to misspell it. Satan. My family kicked me out of England and royal. Why can't I spell family? I was banished to America. Let's see what he does with this. Let's see. I'm going to write in the comments was church answer. He was babbling. Oh, shit. What can I? Told him I am a Satan worshiper, kicked out of the royal family. All good here. Okay, so I'm not buffering for you, Sue. I'm amazed because it's telling me my connection is unstable. It's as unstable as the stuff I'm telling this guy. Now he's not replying. Now that I told him I worship Satan, he is not replying. Okay, let's see. But I respect everybody's choice of religious. I respect everybody's choice of the religious. Okay, I've got to think about this one for a minute. I'm throwing every kind of warning sign and speed bump, and he still thinks that I'm interested. Now, let me tell everybody who says there's buffering. All religious. Oh. What am I going to do with you? Okay, he wants to ask me a question. Wants to ask me a question. Good God. There's no telling what that question will be. Here, I've tried to sell him a kangaroo. I tell him I sell pot. I worship Satan. I mean, how many more related to the royal family? How many more lies, ridiculous lies, will this man swallow before he spits the dummy? I just want to know what's going to happen. Is is he willing to go to satanic rituals with you? That is the question that I need to ask right now. Would you be pleased telling me more about you? Are you willing to go to my satanic rituals with me? Very important. He said he would like to know me more because I'm so pretty. He would like to know me more and more and more. Translation, he thinks I am a sucker. So I asked him if he would go to my satanic rituals with me. Okay, come on. And how will I do that? How will I do that? Was his answer. I'm telling him to use his spaceship. Just summon a spaceship. Oh, okay, Aaron. I just told him to summon a spaceship if he wanted to come see me and go to the satanic rituals with me. So, no, Sue, I'm not going to send him my private jet. I don't want him to think I'm that eager. I've got to keep my mystery. Lately, with the huge number of them contacting me, what I've been doing is I've been very torturous to these guys. I'm just like bing bang no, making them. How will you meet me? Then how will you meet me? How will you have? On the gossamer wings of Lord Satan. I will meet you on the gossamer wings of Lord Satan. Let's see what he has to say there. Yeah, it's crazy, these guys. Anybody with half a brain would think this person is nuts and just ditch. I guess they must think the amount of money at the end. Lord Daniel. Lord Daniel. I haven't thought about that in a while. Jill Rodriguez. Jill Rodriguez. Maybe I should have started answering as Jill. Let me start. Okay. I am not so clear. Neither am I. I am not pellucid or transparent, apparently. So now I'm just babbling nonsense at him. I am not pellucid or transparent, apparently, because they said he was unclear. Of course, I'll have to Google that. That's what's so wondrous about this. I'm teaching him new vocabulary, if nothing else. I'm teaching him new vocabulary. I can't believe he's hung in the conversation this long. Usually, once you turn extremely weird, they will ditch. Oh, maybe he's eating it up, Aaron. I don't know. He thinks he's chasing a check. I tell you what, why don't I send him a check? I have a check for $8 million sitting in my email box. He just needs an ID that says Lord IP freely. It shouldn't be too hard to get. He said, I am kind of lost somehow. Okay, I'm going to send him that check. Let's see what he does when he gets a check for that amount of money. Where's my big check? Where did I hide that thing? I know I have it under Sir IP freely. Okay, I just sent him a check and I told him that my hobby is busting scammers. This conversation's been going on 45 minutes. That is a new length for me for recently because I've just not had I have not had the patience for these guys, especially after this last weekend. But I do enjoy playing with them. I always have. Let's see. The check is too funny. The check makes me laugh the hardest. And I've gotten a ton of those, but that particular one, that's my favorite. I showed my husband one day, I have something like 40 million in checks, in fake checks, sitting in my email account when I used to scam bait. And okay, let's see what he has to say. I am not a scammer. Then, okay, then can you explain to me how and why you picked me out and a million other people that are friends of yours did the same thing? Because he did have a ton of folks who he has friendly with. So he said that he's not a scammer. He is not a scammer. I guess he thinks I'm going to take his words on that. Oh, and he just blocked me. Vital Blanchard. Mm-mm-mm. That was one for the books. You are going up on all of the lists now. Because this has been pretty funny, actually. Oh, I have 3 guys named Vital as friends now. 3 of them. Isn't that interesting? Oh, that is just the most interesting thing on the planet. And he's got me blocked. Well, folks, I guess he decided that the check was not worth it, that I was just putting him through just too much Vital everything for the amount of money he was thinking he was going to get. And to the end, he swore he was not a scammer. So if you see Vital Blanchard around and he tries to friend you, at least now you know what he is. He may not be a scammer, but he was after something. He just blocked me right now after I basically said, I think you're a scammer and this is why. So that's always a bad sign. So when you send them some kind of information and tell them, hey, this is what I do for fun, either they will block you immediately or they try to tell you they're not a scammer. This is the first time I've had one that said, I'm not a scammer, and then turn around and block me. Guess he was trying to save some face. I guess I'm not part of the royal family and I'm not selling kangaroos. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go to bed because I'm supposed to be in bed right now. And I stayed up to play with this guy. Oh, so y'all have a good evening. I'm disappointed. I'm going to run off and cry now.